Hi guys, this is Mike from Lumin Lights, and this is the video tutorial on how to use our 60-watt LED moving head. As you can see from the body design, this is pretty much an identical copy of the Chave Q-Spot 260. Let's start off with just some of the features here. To access the Gobos, there are two doors, and there's a little compartment here that you just basically pinch and squeeze up, and now you will have access to the Gobo wheels, because these are slot and lock Gobos that you can change. When you're done putting your Gobo in, just slide the door back in place. There are two Gobo doors on this unit, not just one, so you have one on each side, so if you have a mistake and you drop one of the Gobos inside, you don't have to sit and shake the light upside down. You can just open up the other door, let it fall through the other side. Alright, now let's go on to the actual menu items. Now the light has pretty much identical features again to the Chave Q-Spot LED 260. And we're going to go over all the functions and explain them to you right now. We'll start off with our 4-button LCD display. You have menu, enter, up, and down. So we start by pushing enter. We've got intro as our first menu, and then it has some submenus. Hit enter again to enter into the intro submenus. Your first option is address. That's to set your DMX starting address for the fixture. To do so, hit enter. Now you'll see address, and it's set to an address number. Use the up or down buttons to get to the address number you want to use, and then once you've got that address, hit enter to set it. Hit the menu button to back out of that and go into intro address. Hit menu again to back out of that, and you're back to intro. But we want to do the sub menus in intro, so let's hit enter again. Address is the first one. Next up we have reset. If you hit this, it resets the light as if it was initializing for the first time. If something gets screwed up in the DMX, if the light is behaving erratically, you just want to reset all the defaults, not the defaults, but to reinitialize the light, you would hit enter on reset and the light would reset. Next item is run. Now that has a whole bunch of submenus. We'll go into that in just a minute, but let's move on to all the submenus under intro. The next one is channels. Hit enter, and you have advanced or basic. We're going to keep ours on advanced. That's using the most DMX channels. Basic would be the least DMX channels. Next item, let's back out of this again. It be by using the menu button to get back to channels. Hit the up button again. Next one is display. Hit enter, and it says display bright. That means the display, the yellow background, is going to stay on. If you hit the up or down button and it says 60 close, that means after 60 seconds the backlit yellow display will turn off. Your digits will still be there, but the backlit light will disappear. Well, we're going to leave ours to on. Hit enter, and that's set. Hit menu to back out of that to get the previous menu. Hit the up button. Our next item is key lock. Now key lock is if you want to prevent anybody from changing your settings, or while you're hanging the light you want to set everything up and then you want to lock the key so that nobody can change the settings, or you don't accidentally hit a button and change your settings. So hit enter, and you can choose yes or no. It's set to no right now. Let's set it to yes. Hit enter, and now the key buttons are locked. Now if you try to get out of it, you can't. You're getting a password. The default password is up, down, and then hit enter. And now you're out of that. So let's go into intro again, and let's go back to key lock, and I'm going to turn that off for now. There it is, key lock. Hit enter, and it's on yes. We want to go to no. Hit enter, and now that is set. Hit our menu button to back out of that. Next item after key lock is info. Hit enter, and this gives you the software version, and this light has software version number 1. Hit menu to back out of that, and we're back to address. So in the intro menu we've covered all the submenus except for run, because that has its own submenu. So let's go to run right now. There it is, run. Hit enter. Now you have run, you have DMX512. So in this mode, we're running DMX as if you were controlling this from a controller or cables. Let's hit the up button. Auto 1, hit enter. It's an automatic program. The light will run through different gobos and colors and movements, and basically the light will behave as if it is mounted just the way you see it here in the video, with the base on the ground, so that the light will focus down. Let's go to the next run item, which is Auto 2. Hit enter. Auto 2 is the same thing. Instead of, though, considering this being mounted upright, this mode, auto mode, is if the light would be mounted upside down, so that the head part of the light would now be shining down. Or if you're keeping it on its base, it will be shining up towards the ceiling, depending on how you want to mount it. Let's go to the next item. Sound 1. Sound 1 is the same thing as Auto 1, only it's going to react to sound, but it's going to run the same program, but only when it gets a sound. And the same thing with the next item, which is Sound 2. It's going to do the same program, but it's going to point the light up, or if you were hanging it from a truss, it would be pointing down onto the dance floor. Our next item is Custom. You can pre-program one show with this light, and we'll show you that in a few minutes. And if you wanted to activate that program you created, you would just hit enter on the custom menu. Test, hit enter. It's to test the light, just to make sure everything is working. It's going to go through all the gobos, through movement, and through color wheels. Next item is Slave, hit enter. And the light, as you see, stops moving because now it's in slave mode and it's waiting to receive instructions from another light which has been set as the master. And then back to DMX512, we're going to hit enter. So now let's back out of this menu by hitting menu, intro run. Let's back out of that again. Now we're back to intro. Hit the up arrow button. The next item you see is Invert. Invert is going to flip things like the pan starting position and the tilt starting position. And we hit enter. I'll show you that right now. Pan, hit enter. Normal or reverse. We're going to leave ours on normal. Next item is the tilt. Same thing, normal or reverse. We're going to leave ours on normal. Then the next item after pan and tilt is color. Now color is a little different because obviously there's not an opposite of color. You have two choices. You have linear, and by hitting the up or down arrow buttons, you have step. Step means the color will go from color to color. Will go from blue to red to green to so on and so forth. Linear, you can do half colors. You can do half blue, half red on a gobo. So if you want to do a little color mixing or do split colors, as they're called, not color mixing, split colors, you would set it to linear and hit enter. Alright, let's back out of color by hitting the menu. And use our up arrow button to go to the next item, which is use. Hit enter. Yes or no. That basically means any changes you make to the invert for the pan, tilt, or color, if it's set to no, the light's not going to respond to the settings you just set. So you have to move this up to yes and hit enter. Now it will use those settings that you just changed. Okay, hit our menu button to get out of that. And we use the up button and we're back to pan. So let's use the menu to get up to the next level. Invert is where we started. Let's move up to the next menu item, which is range. And this is where, hit enter, where you're going to set the range of your pan. Okay, pan start, hit enter. From 0 all the way to 255. And as you can see, I'm moving the light right now. Or maybe you can't see because I'm focused on the display, but you see the light moving around. And I'm going to set this back to where it was, which is 1. And hit enter. Okay, hit menu to get out of that. So the pan start, you've got your pan finish, where the light is going to finish in its pan movement. You've got the tilt start, which is the way the head moves on the arm itself, up or down. So the head would be moving, tilt would be like this. And you've got your tilt finish. And then again, use, hit enter, yes or no to select if you want to activate those settings. I'm going to leave it on no for now. Back out of this, and you're back to pan tilt. So that's all the parameters under range. Let's hit menu again to back out of that. Next item, special. Hit enter. Okay, now special has two features. It has black and it has reset. Let's explain reset first. Reset is if you want to reset the fixture from a DMX controller. Hit enter. Reset DMX or reset system. System means that you can only reset the fixture by using the reset feature we showed you just a little while ago on the light itself. DMX is if you wanted to reset the fixture from your DMX or light control board. So let's hit enter. Now we're set to reset from DMX. Or hit enter, reset from system. Let's leave it on system for now. Back out of that. The other item is under special is black. Now let me explain a little bit about what black is. This is move in black. That's what black stands for. And a lot of people are confused on what this exactly means. It's in a lot of manuals on a lot of moving heads, but a lot of people don't quite understand it. What move in black means is that if you program a show with this light and you have to do a series of movements, and then it's going to go dark for a certain number of steps or sequences, and then it's going to reactivate later. If you have move in black set to on, when the dimmer closes on the light, it's going to get ready for the next time the dimmer is going to go on. It's going to look ahead in the sequence. It's going to see where is the pan setting, where is the tilt setting, what's the gobo wheel set at, what's the color set at, and it's going to move the light while it's still dark, while it's not being used. That's why they call it move in black. It's going to move the light and the gobo wheels and everything and put them in position and get them where they should be for when the dimmer or the light source itself turns back on. So that's your move in black function. Alright, so we've covered intro, we've covered invert, we've covered range, we've covered special. Now let's go to edit. Hit enter. And edit, this menu is where you can create your one built-in, or you should say your one custom show that you can program manually and operate the light without a DMX controller. So it starts, edit with step, hit enter. You're on step 0. Now an important note when you're creating your own program, if you want the program to loop and not just run once and then stop, your first step, set it to 0, hit enter, that's step 0. Run or pan, set everything to 0, pan 0, tilt 0, speed, XY speed 0, color 0, Gobo 1 0, Gobo 2 0, Gobo 2 rotation 0, prism 0, focus 0, dimmer 0, strobe 0, and very important, time 0, and then use, you're going to hit to yes. As soon as you hit enter on that last item, which is use, it takes you to the next step, step 1. Now here you would set your pan, your tilt, everything we just went through, and put the light where you want it to start. That would be step 1. Get all the way to the end of the menu where you're at use again and hit yes because you want to use that step, and it'll take you to step 2. Step 2, do the same thing. Move the pan, the tilt, the gobo, the color, every setting to where the light's next step is going to be. And you keep doing that to the very end. When you finish, after your last step, say you finish at step 5, and then you hit enter on use and hit it for yes. Step 6, set everything to 0 again and use to no. Then when you go into run and you select custom, it'll run your program and keep looping it. And for a little further detail on actually creating a program, see our instructional video on our 30 watt moving LED light, because it is basically, the functions on each light are identical. The only difference is this light has a few extra parameters like the 2 Gobo wheels and the key lock feature, which our 30 watt unit does not have. So let's back out of this. So again, there's our menus. We've covered intro, we've covered invert, we've covered range, special, edit. The last item is default. If you hit enter on default, this will reset the light to the factory defaults, meaning if you've programmed the custom show in here and you've saved it in that one memory location, it's going to get erased. If you've set your key lock, it's going to be erased. Your fade to black, all the settings will be erased, and the light will be reset to factory conditions when they first made it at the factory. So only use that if you're having problems or if you get confused and you want to start over again from zero. And that is the last item. So we've gone through every menu in the light, how to control the light. We've gone over where the access doors are for the Gobo wheel. So that concludes this tutorial of our 60 watt LED moving head. If you have further questions or need more information or would like to place an order, please contact us at luminlights.com. That's LuminLights.com.